So like I was saying with crypto, Ethereum's looking like it wants to follow the overall markets as it has been doing all along. If you look at the chart of the overall stock, market, you'll see that this is basically the exact same trend. So it's been following the markets. And like I said in a video, if you go back, watch when I made a video kind of around, I think it was around like 34 or like 35 or something. We were at 37,000 or 100. I was saying that like if 3,200 didn't hold, that was the major level, right? 32 was the huge level, and it did not hold. And when that didn't hold, obviously we had the massive collapse like we had, almost 50% down from that level. Now we see the buying activity is at 88%, and obviously we have kind of had little relief rallies throughout, but this has been a nasty down, and just like the overall market, right? This has just been nasty. And so overall, I think that, like I said, we're going to go a little lower, but over the next 6 to 12 months, I think it is going to massively change. And I think this is going to start to separate itself from the overall markets, and we're going to start to climb back up. First, level of real resistance is going to be this 2,000 level, probably, that 2,200 level. And I'm doing Canadian, obviously. You guys are doing a little different. But overall, I do think that we have a lot of good catalysts for Ethereum coming up over the next few months. You have a lot of kind of big projects coming online, and the reason I like Ethereum a lot more than I like Bitcoin is because Ethereum has so much versatility. Okay, it's not just one asset class. It's not just one store of value that's you're gonna put money into, and your money's gonna be there, and you can buy this or buy that maybe one day, right? Ethereum has infrastructure. It allows for tech and blockchain infrastructures to be established for people to then build around these infrastructures and do the things they want to do without having to deal with inflation and all these different aspects. And obviously, like you're saying, Bitcoin and Ethereum's going down, it's tanking, so countries like El Salvador and other ones that have kind of jumped on the train earlier at the top when things were peaking, they're kind of suffering because of this, pullback, and because the overall markets are crashing in North America, and so that worldwide crypto markets are crashing because that's where a lot of the exchanges are, and that's where a lot of the equities are, especially like the overall markets around the world are crashing, like Asian markets as well, European markets. It's not just U.S. stock markets because they're all closely correlated, right? So anyway, the idea here is that we will see lower prices, more than likely down into the single, hundreds. So 700, 800, very likely again. Back here when you had this big pump up, right? We had this level, resistance originally 1200, right? Support, but then back around here, you had these like 875s, these 9s, right? These are the levels that I'm expecting come back in to be the levels we support at, 9, 800. And that's when I think it'll be the best buying opportunity and the opportunity of a lifetime to kind of get into something you do think, like if you do believe in tech and you do believe in the future is going to be tech based and is going to rely on blockchains and infrastructure and tech and data analytics and all of these, cybersecurity, all of these things, then Bitcoin is going to play. Well, not necessarily Bitcoin, sorry I say Bitcoin, crypto, which in my opinion Ethereum is the leader of that class. And you can believe that Solana or Avalanche or any of these other big chains can offer, but I'm a believer in Ethereum. I've seen Ethereum. I know what it can do, and I know that a lot of tokens run off of it. And I know of a lot of infrastructures, blockchains that rely on it. And I know a lot of countries that have looked at. It's just it is something that is global, and it's something that is very very much universal. It's not something that's just North American, and a lot of times we kind of forget that, right? We forget that this isn't just about people in North America or people in Europe. This is about the global economy, and a lot of times people in all over the world can't participate in the U.S. stock market. They can't buy U.S. equities because they just don't have a trader, or they don't have the kind of equity to do that. But with crypto, everybody can participate. So once this market starts to come back again, and if it does start to decouple itself from and it starts to look like it has the ability to be an asset that is protected and that will give you some sort of safe haven from the overall recession, then you're going to see crypto explode. And so what you have to ask yourself is, are you willing to deal with the downside of like a few thousand, maybe losing a couple $100 if you buy in at like 1,000 or 900 and it goes down to 500, 400, you're down half? you're gonna have to ask yourself. But the upside, right? That's what we do as traders and as risk management, is say, okay, if I'm gonna lose 50%, but I have the upside to gain 4, 5, 600%, it's worth the risk. Obviously, if you have the money to lose. So that's all I'm gonna say on that, guys. Look for a bottoming out in the next few weeks, probably a little bit lower, 30-40% lower from here, maybe even 50% at most. And I think that we're going to be in for a huge rally. And like I said, same thing if you watch my video, when I talk about the stocks to buy, it's going to be the kind of the same thought process, but we're going to have to wait for those to show us that the market really wants to turn around before we want to jump into those. Crypto is it's something I think you can kind of just start building a position sooner, especially at some of these earlier support levels or resistance levels, in which we can see if they turn into support, and we can find nice trades or nice long-term holds off of those levels. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Come back at you with another video. Check my video after this. Talk about some stocks that I'm looking at over the next few months. Thanks, guys.